Hey guys, welcome back to Home to MMA Reviews. This is your host Justin Home, coming back to you with another video. I'm sorry after the last video that I didn't post after that. That was probably about in October or November, somewhere in between there. Um, I just had a lot of stuff going on lately with college, with maybe going to community college and graduating, and just a whole bunch of stuff I have just had been going on. Today, I'm gonna talk to you guys about an upcoming fight that broke news yesterday. The match is on. The fight is on. Kobe Covington versus my man Jorge Masvidal. Now, originally, Jorge was supposed to go up against Leon, but Jorge got hurt, so that fight was put off. That fight was supposed to happen in December. Yeah, December. Yeah, last month. Unfortunately, it didn't happen because he got injured, and he said on the podcast with Ariel Helwani that if he heals in time that he'd rather fight Leon in March or Kobe in February or March, and I think he was leaning. I think people want to see Kobe and Masvidal more than Leon and Masvidal. So yesterday, ESPN MMA reported that it's going down March 5th, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's coming back. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get the best friends turn bitter enemies fight that we've been all asking for. Now, we all saw what happened at 268. Kamaru beat Kobe, and in an interview on the post 268 press conference, Kobe said that Jorge Masvidal shouldn't be fighting him. You should be fighting him. And I think Leon shouldn't. Leon, just leave Leon out of it. This is a personal bout between two best friends that used to be friends that used to train at the same gym together, but unfortunately that's not the case. Now, with this matchup, I probably say whoever wins probably gets back in the title contention. But then again, I don't think. I think to me, I think this is just not about the title. This is just a personal matter that has kind of spilled over into the UFC and kind of spilled over into so many MMA fans' minds that they want this fight. I want this fight. So many people want this fight that they can't. That they're not gonna have to wait any longer. It's coming up March 5th, like I said. Now, I don't think this should be for title contention. This is just a personal bout. Mind you that this is taking place at UFC 272, and this is the first ever main event that has no title attached to it, no title name. This is not a contend. This should be a contender's bout, but it's not. Also, this is the first time in a long time that this is a main event. And the last time a magnitude of this fight was a main event was, I probably had to say, Connor and Nate, and before that, Anderson Silva and Nick Diaz. So this is a kind of historic kind of thing that hasn't happened in years. So that's also exciting. Also, what has to be exciting is the press conference leading up to this fight. I mean, we all seen it. We all seen the Twitter exchanges. We all seen the Instagram exchanges. We all see that. We all see the interviews, the separate interviews that they did on separate podcasts, talking crap about each other. But now it's gonna be real interesting. It's gonna be real interesting when they do when the press conference goes down. It's gonna be real interesting. I want to see what they're gonna say to each other now that they see each other face to face. It's gonna be kind of interesting because we've seen them verbally assault each other in different parts of the world, in different parts, whether it be Jorge in Las Vegas or Kobe in New York, or doesn't really matter whether it be at a UFC event, whether it be at American Top Team. We've seen them have that level of disdain for each other, which just means that this fight can kind of just spill over into one of the most. It's already spilled over into one of the most personal and yet intense rivalries of the UFC, I'd say. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens in March. Now, talking about this month, we obviously have UFC 270 and the big main event, Cyril Gane versus Francis Ngannou. This is another event I want to talk about. So, Francis beat Stipe Miocic obviously for the heavyweight title, and we don't know. I don't know that you. I don't. We. I don't know the situation that happened. What's going on with John Jones? If he's going back to the UFC, if he's even thinking about fighting again. Because if I'm being honest, just from a fan perspective, I don't think they should add John Jones to this conversation, because yes, he's a former. Yes, he's a former light heavy. Yes, he's a former heavyweight champion, but there's no need to add him to this conversation. This is just between Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou. And we all saw Cyril Gane beat Derek Lewis to become an interim light heavyweight champion. And we all know they used to be training partners. But apparently there's some beef going on. I'm not too up to date on that. Apparently Cyril Gane used to train with Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou and his trainers. But now apparently people are talking about how Francis Ngannou was backstage and he was walking by, and Cyril Gane was right there in front of him, and Francis just walked right past him, just didn't even acknowledge him. And I don't know what that says about I don't know what that says about this fight. I don't know if this is personal now or this is just business as far as Francis is concerned, because yes, he's defending his title, he has someone in his way, or if it's just probably that. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. And after that, we got the February card, which is headlined by Israel Adesanya. February 12th, it's going to be headlined by Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker the rematch, which happened in Melbourne, Australia, but now it's going to happen in Las Vegas. So we haven't seen Robert Whittaker since Israel Adesanya had beaten him, and the last time we saw Israel Adesanya was, I think, his fight with Marvin Vettori, where he beat Marvin. And we haven't seen, like I said, we haven't seen Robert in like a year, in like 2 years, I'd say. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see where his head's at, considering that Israel was the one to beat him and that Israel hasn't lost a fight since he beat Robert. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what's up with that. Yeah, so there's another, one more thing. Apparently there's talks about a featherweight bout being put together on April 9th with Alexander Volkanovski and the Korean Zombie, because Max Holloway pulled up because he was injured, and rightfully so. He did sustain some injuries in that Yair Rodriguez fight, because they went to war in the Apex. So that's kind of a given. So I'm just gonna wait until that. I'm just gonna see what's up. We're gonna see what's up with that, because we get all this information from ESPN MMA or ESPN News or Brett Okamoto himself. So it could be a real. It could be a real interesting story development. So we're gonna see what's up with that. And yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about the upcoming fights that are going on and what I think. Okay, so I'm gonna break down. I actually haven't broken down what I think what's gonna happen. I think Jorge's gonna beat Kobe, no brainer, because Jorge's my boy. Just because of the animosity that they have with each other. And Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane, I had to give the edge to Francis, because even though he hasn't fought for a while, I think that his power and his size is gonna come to the advantage. And with Israel and Robert, I'd say Israel, because Israel's on a tear right now. He's never been beaten. Like I said, the last time he fought was against Robert, and he hasn't been beaten. He's the king of the middleweights. So I think that those are my predictions. Yeah, like I said, just wanted to talk to you guys about what's the upcoming fights and what I think is gonna happen. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be coming back to you guys with another one as soon as possible. Thank you. Enjoy.